their lives, migrants are increasingly looking to the sea as they consider land crossings to be even more arduous and more likely to end by getting caught. At up to $5,000 a person, it's roughly twice the fee to cross illegally over land. At prices like this, one overnight trip can generate around $100,000. James Kim, CCTV.
A United Nations human rights body has rebuked France for its repatriation of Roma migrants, urging the government to instead try integrating members of the EU's biggest ethnic minority as part of a continent-wide solution. The UN Committee for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, known as CERD, also voiced concern that some of the hundreds of Roma migrants deported from France to Romania had not been fully informed of their rights or had not freely consented to return to their homeland.
We understand that a state has a right and a responsibility to deal with security issues and issues of immigration and illegal immigration. But our view is when you're doing so, as we said, it should not be on a collective basis. You should not be targeting a group as a whole. Individual assessments need to be conducted and look at each particular circumstance of each individual and decide, does he or she merit a return or should be allowed to stay.
CERD's conclusions have sparked a swift rebuttal by the French Foreign Ministry, which says the government is scrupulously respecting European Union laws and examining cases one by one. The ministry also notes that Roma migrants have to respect public order and should not be an economic burden on a host country. Campsites have been dismantled and in some cases bulldozed away on orders from President Nicolas Sarkozy, whose tough law and order rhetoric helped sweep him into power in 2007. Opposition parties have accused him of targeting Roma migrants in a crime crackdown with the goal of boosting his record low popularity ratings before the next election in 2012. You're watching CCTV News. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, taking action, the U.S. Fed chairman says more steps will be needed and that will help spur economic growth. And Regional Link, ASEAN embarks on the construction of a high-speed railway link between China and Singapore. China and Japan will hold their third high-level economic dialogue later Saturday in Beijing. The two-day meeting will be co-chaired by Vice Premier Wang Qishan and Japanese Foreign Minister Katsuya Okada. China is now Japan's #1 trade partner, its largest export and import market. Japan is currently China's third largest trade partner, and the dialogue was jointly launched in 2007 by Premier Wen Jiabao and then Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Beijing. The second meeting was held last year in Tokyo. To the U.S. now, and Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke says the Fed is ready to take further steps, if needed, to spur economic growth. This story comes courtesy of Reuters.
Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke gets a breath of fresh air before admitting the air is coming out of the U.S. recovery faster than thought. According to prepared comments of his speech, the Fed is ready to provide additional stimulus if needed to get the economy back up to speed. But Bernanke says the foundation for a pickup next year is already in place, although he's still worried about high unemployment. His comments came on the heels of a sharp downward revision to second quarter growth figures. The U.S. economy grew at an anemic 1.6% annual rate, according to the Commerce Department's latest estimate, which was not as bad as feared. But that's still down from the 2.4% rate first announced and a quick fall from 3.7% growth seen in the first 3 months of the year. A surge in imports was a leading factor in the sharp revision. Intel, however, is providing a signal of how the economy may be doing real time. The world's largest maker of chips used in laptops and other devices is guiding revenue estimates lower for the current quarter. It says consumer demand for personal computers in the developed world is weaker than expected.
The Association of Southeast Asian Nations has embarked on the construction of a high-speed railway link between China and Singapore. The line starts from Kunming, capital of southwest China's Yunnan province, and ends in the Lion City. With a length of 5,500 kilometers, it will stretch through several countries in the continent's southeast. The General Secretary of ASEAN says the railway is expected to evolve into the centerpiece of a prosperous economic corridor. He adds that China is invited to cooperate with the bloc in every phase of the line's construction, given its technological prowess and economic strength. The railway is expected to complete by 2015. China has successfully completed a trial run on a deep-water submersible diving to depths of more than 3,700 meters. The feat has made China one of the few countries that have independently produced deep-water technology. Peter Kovius tells us about some of the state-of-the-art technology and equipment.
The submersible, called Jiaolong, is like a big shark. It is 8 meters long, 3 meters high, and 3 meters wide. Chief driver Ye Cong shows us inside the pod.
This is the sub's light, video camera, sonar, and machine hand. They are essential equipment for deep water research work, and we operate them in the pod.
Although the sub may look big from the outside, inside it's actually not. The crew share space of about just 5 cubic meters. This is the sub's life support system. It can supply oxygen for 84 hours and absorb carbon dioxide. These are the main controls. It's also where the driver would take control if the dive doesn't go according to plan.
If it's impossible for us to finish the task or an accident occurs, we just need to press this button. The sub then will stop diving. By pressing the one next to it, the sub will have enough buoyancy to return to the water surface.
The submersible is just like a car with a steering wheel and can go in the same directions: forward, back, left, right, return to the surface, or dive deeper. The window allows the crew to observe the environment under the sea, but because it's so dark, they can only see clearly if they turn on the light. Peter Kovius, CCTV.
The piano is considered one of the most difficult musical instruments to learn. So when a young Chinese man tickles the ivories, it is even more impressive because he does it without the use of his hands. Peter Kovius once again takes a look at the incredible story of Liu Wei.
Liu's arms were amputated from the shoulders at the age of 10 after he was electrocuted while playing hide-and-seek with his friends. The slender, shy man was thrust into the limelight after performing earlier this month in the show China's Got Talent. In his first performance, Liu smoothly performed Marriage d'Amour by Richard Clayderman. He received a standing ovation from the audience, many of whom were moved to tears.
Music has become a habit for me. It is just like breathing air.
He uses his feet to navigate online, eat, dress, and brush his teeth. It's never easy, and he admits despite government efforts to improve conditions, he often faces discrimination because of his disability. Liu says his aim is to be recognized for the quality of his music rather than his unusual style of playing the piano.
Right now, everyone looks at me and says, "Oh, Liu Wei has no arms and it's very difficult for him to play the piano." In the future, I want them to say, "Well, he's good."
Liu will stay in Shanghai to prepare for the next round of China's Got Talent in about a week's time and hopes to go on to make the final. Peter Kovius, CCTV.
All the best luck. And finally, television went from black and white to color and then from 2D to 3D. Following in the footsteps of its rival Toshiba, Sony is now working on three-dimensional sets that don't need the unsightly glasses of the past. Damien Jones takes a closer look.
The mainstream 3D televisions now on the market require special glasses. Screens that can be viewed without the multicolored lenses do exist, but they mainly function as store display units. Toshiba said earlier that it's working on three-dimensional TVs which can be enjoyed without glasses. And now Sony is following suit. The company held a news conference in Tokyo on Friday to unveil its newest 3D TVs and Blu-ray recorders. The senior vice president of Sony Home Entertainment says the firm is rapidly expanding into the fast-growing market.
Sony will expand its 3D services from hardware to content, from the 3D camera lenses to the setup in the living room to provide more customer enjoyment.
But it's unclear when Sony will launch its no glasses required 3D innovation. Financial and technological hurdles need to be overcome before the sets can go on sale. That means consumers may need to have a little more patience before they finally experience the euphoria of lens-free 3D TV. Damian Jones, CCTV.
That's it for this news update. I'm Li Xing in Beijing. I'll see you in 30 minutes in today's News Hour. Until then, bye for now.